Hi everyone, this is Amanda from Simple Life of a Frugal Wife, and today I want to talk to you about ways that you can save money in the kitchen. Now, last video I shared some cheap meals that you can make to save money when you are ridiculously broke. I actually was supposed to give 10 meals and I realized I only gave 9. I missed one. But anyways, I did share some meals that are great when you have no money whatsoever. So I kind of want to go a little further with that on ways that you can save money in the kitchen. Now, I think that saving money in the kitchen is a great way to help you when you're struggling with a tight budget. There's so many fixed expenses in our lives, but food is something that we can always find little ways to do. So it's one of my favorite ways when you're looking at your budget and you're like, I don't know, I cannot find anywhere to cut. There's always ways often that you can cut in the kitchen. So let's get started and talk about them. The first one I'm going to talk about is about making food from scratch. Now, convenience food is easier. Convenience food is faster, but you will pay more for convenience foods. If you are someone who doesn't cook or can't cook, I want to encourage you that you can learn. When I was first married, I basically knew how to boil water. I'm not even sure if I knew how to boil water. But I watched tutorials and I read recipe books, and now cooking is one of my favorite things to do. I can make some pretty good food, I think, and it's all, like I really had no one to teach me but the internet. So if you are in that boat, I want to encourage you. There are many ways you can learn to cook, and if you do cook from scratch, you are going to save a significant amount of money. Hand in hand with that is to not buy convenience foods, but make convenience foods yourself. So that's things like taco seasoning, granola bars, granola itself. Like granola in the store I find is so expensive, but I can make it so cheap at home with oatmeal and raisins and some sugar or whatever. So, if you can, make as many convenience foods as you can to save money. And the bonus with making more food from scratch at home is that it's healthier and your body is going to thank you for it. You're not going to have all those added preservatives. So it's just if you can add, if the thing is, if you're intimidated by the thought of making more from scratch, just add, like a few new things every month. And then you'll find that it gets easier and easier. So the next thing is buying foods on sale. Always shopping the sales, buying produce that's in season. You can meal plan with the flyers. So what I do is I take the flyers, I see what's on sale, and then I work my meal plan around there. And that's very helpful. And then I'm making meals with food that's on sale. Meal planning is a great way to save money, and I actually have a meal plan template on my blog. It's actually a whole kitchen pack, and it is a few dollars. It's $3, but it has like the whole it's printables for a meal plan, your pantry inventory, fridge inventory, grocery list. There's a few others I can't think offhand, but that can help you actually save money in the kitchen. And so I will leave that link below for those that are interested. But you don't need a template to make your meal plan. You can write it down Monday to Friday on a piece of paper and you have it. But meal planning is really important if you want to save money in the kitchen. Now, some people find that meal planning is too restrictive. It doesn't have to be. You can be flexible. For me, I'm pretty flexible. When I write my meal plan out, if we don't feel like Thursday's meal that day, but we want Friday's meal, we'll just switch them out. The other option you can do is just do seven dinners on a list and decide, that day which one you're going to choose. But at that point, you have shopped for the ingredients, you have everything for those 7 meals. So meal planning does not have to be restrictive if you need a little more flexibility. But if you are someone who likes more structure, then definitely you can have every meal for every day. And it does save when the kids ask you what's for dinner, you will be able to tell them, go look at the meal plan. Because I don't know about you, but my children ask me from the time they wake up in the morning to the time they go to bed what they're going to eat for every meal. Okay, so the next thing, I have notes down here, so if you're wondering why I'm like crouching over here, I don't have a desk set up yet. In time I'll have my office, but for now, this is what I'm working with. So the next thing is to add stretcher foods. So what are stretcher foods exactly? So in the last video, I talked a little bit about this, and this is things like meat where you don't, like in our house, we don't have meat, vegetable, and something else often, like sometimes, but not often, but we will add meat to like a stir fry or a soup or you know, a sauce or some kind of thing like that, and that will help us save money. Other stretcher foods you can add is like oats to meatballs or rice. Rice is another good one, and beans for tacos and fajitas. So just always think about adding those stretcher foods, especially if you have children, because they are hungry, and it's good filling food. The next thing I'm going to talk about is the kitchen appliances. So there's a couple points here I want to make with kitchen appliances. First is to minimize your kitchen appliance collection. If you have walked down the aisles in the stores recently, you will notice that they have an appliance for everything. And generally, a lot of the times, we have already appliances that will do that. So I'm not suggesting you have no appliances. You know, we have, for example, a blender, which we love. We have a toaster. You know, we have a coffee maker because you can't live without coffee. But, you know, at one point we had a rice maker, and I thought I couldn't make rice without my rice maker. My friend mentioned that it's so easy to make on the stove. So when my rice cooker died, I tried it on the stove after reading a tutorial, and what do you know? It really wasn't that hard. So I never paid to replace my rice cooker. So just keep your appliances to a minimum. You don't necessarily need the waffle sandwich maker. Well, maybe a waffle maker, but not the sandwich maker and the rice cooker. So when you're buying appliances, as well, especially bigger ones, buy without the bells and whistles. So we got a new fridge and stove when we moved to this house, and I wanted to do new because we had purchased used many times in the past, and it actually never went well. I remember we bought a fridge that had a 6-month warranty because we bought it from a second-hand store, and it died in its 7th month. And that's just one of the many stories we have about appliances. So when we moved here, we had the money, we wanted to buy new appliances. However, we got no bells and whistles. My fridge, all it does is it holds food. We didn't need, you know, any like, well, I guess now they have like iPads on them, and they'll play music for you, and they'll talk to you, and you can draw on them, and you know, we just didn't need all that. We just needed the basic hold my food kind of fridge. So when you're shopping, just keep your bells and whistles to a minimum. You might find there is certain things that are make it or break it for you, but just try and, you know, kind of keep it simple. The next thing is for outfitting your kitchen, like dishes and whatnot, is to shop secondhand. All our plates and dishes, for the most part, are from secondhand stores, except our cast iron. And I would buy my cast iron from secondhand, but I just haven't been able to find any in the area. But there's a lot of good quality dishes in the thrift store that are from, you know, dishes our grandmothers used. And so they're good quality, and they'll do the job, and they're cheap. They're cheap, so much cheaper than the stores. So definitely shop secondhand if you can. Leftovers. Be sure to save and eat your leftovers. If you feel like you've put your leftovers in the fridge and you're not going to eat them, if they can, stick them in the freezer until another day. Because we really, you know, I think there's just, we throw out so much food waste in our country, and eating leftovers will definitely save you money. 2 more points is start a vegetable garden, and you can grow herbs as well. If you have the space, you are going to save money by growing your own food. And I mean, it is awesome being able to go to your backyard and get your dinner. So if you have the space, grow a vegetable garden with an herb garden. Often you can transfer it, you can bring it inside in the winter, so that you can have herbs all year long if you have a warm enough, sunny enough space in your house. And the last point I want to share is to make cheap meals. So, I talked about this in my last video, but making cheap meals will save you money, and they can be delicious. You know, we don't eat steak here a lot, and my kids love those simple, like, meals of pasta and rice and meatballs and rice and stir fry and all that kind of stuff. And so you really can make really delicious food by adding seasonings and spices and making your own sauces with very cheap ingredients. So consider making cheaper meals, and you can watch my last video for 9 meals, 9 cheap meals that can get you started. So that is all I want to share with you today, is these ways that you can save money in the kitchen. Like I said, if you're really struggling with a tight budget, the kitchen is where to look, because there are always little ways you can save money. And so I hope that these ideas help you. I will link below to my blog. There's always money-saving ideas there that you can check out if you want to learn more. And yeah, I hope that these tips will help you on your saving money journey.